It's been both your wins now. What stands out about that group down there?
Gosh, it's a group that just they bow their neck when they have to, and I think it's what 2 for 10, 2 out of 10 last for the Atlanta game and at home anyway that our defense has stopped. So it's they understand a sense of urgency down there. They understand that things can happen faster, balls out faster. Space is obviously limited down there, so it's an advantage defense a little bit, and they play well. I mean, it's been one of the positives on defense.
You guys scored touchdowns on your first drive and your last drive, and a couple of players in there said that there's a magic when Carson's in there. Not to denigrate what Nick has done, but what was it like having him back, and what did you think of his performance?
Well, it was exciting to get him back out there, and all week really. It started back on Tuesday, with our walkthrough and stuff, and then the whole week just seeing him, just how he got in the huddle, talking to the guys, communicating with the skill guys throughout the game today, and just kind of getting back to his old self. And again, like always, we'll evaluate. I know he would probably want to get the fumble back. He'd want the pick back and things like that. And those are things that can't happen, especially when our backed up on our end of the field. But I thought overall he did some nice things. Moved around well, extended some drives for us, whether he was running or escaping the pocket and making some plays down the field. But I thought for the first time back, not too bad.
There seemed to be several plays where maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, Carson might have tucked it and run as opposed to like hitting Dallas Goedert a couple of times, hitting the running back a couple of times. Do you think the knee has anything to do with that? Do you think that's natural maturity? Do you agree with that observation?
I don't think it's the knee at all. I think it's just maturity of playing the position and seeing the field, and it comes from playing, and he did that several times today. Dumped it off into the flat, got positive, 8 yards, 10 yards, whatever, and that just comes from playing and just the maturity of playing the position over time.
When you see your quarterback diving into the sideline for that first down, what's going through your mind in the second quarter?
Well, for me, I was standing right there. I mean, it was definitely, obviously, a safe dive. There was no contact other than him hitting the ground, really, and that's just him. I mean, that's the aggressive nature that he plays with, and those are types of plays that, you just, you just make, you just do. It's just instinct, and it's something you don't coach, and it was a great play, great way to get a first down and keep us on the field.
Doug, it didn't appear that obviously he worried, didn't even think about the injury. How important is it for a quarterback who comes off an injury to go out there and just be who he was before? It seemed that way anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important. I don't want to, put, restraints on him at all and put him in bubble wrap. And that's not how we play the game. It's not how he plays the game. And he wants to be, just as aggressive on the field too. And so I don't think about it that way. I just want to, do what's right for obviously him, but for the offense and the other guys out there that are straining their bodies to just execute one play. But I thought he, protected himself pretty well today.
Doug, early in the game, I think Carson's first 7 targets or so were to tight ends, and he played a lot of 13. What made you think that was the way to go going into the game?
Just by scheme, we felt like with our 3 tight ends that gives us a little bit of a personnel advantage. Teams want to play, a base defense. They eventually went to nickel defense, and we still had some success doing that. Then we began to run the ball. Just bigger people, athletic people on the field. It really worked for us on the the opening drive, and just wanted to get the quarterback in a rhythm too, with that. But part of the plan, part of this game plan was to do some of that in this game.
You spoke after the last game about wanting big plays on offense. You had to really put together long drives. I think the final drive was a 16-play drive. Is that good enough for you, or do you want to have more explosive plays?
Well, again, we'll take a look at the film. I mean, you definitely want more. I mean, it goes without. So you'd love to score, 5-play drives and put yourself in the end zone. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way. And again, without evaluating the tape and seeing whether we miss somebody or protection breakdown or whatever it is, stuff we can fix, then we can continue to stay aggressive there. We had some opportunities. We made some plays down the field. Ertz had a couple nice ones. Dallas had a couple. Wendell had a nice long pass in there. So, we're getting them. We just got to make sure that we continue to stay aggressive. And obviously, as a play caller, I gotta call the play.
On that 16-play drive, what was the key?
Just the resiliency of the offense, quite honestly. Offensive line began to dominate a little bit at that point. Wendell, Corey running extremely hard, and then we were fortunate a couple penalties went our way and extended a couple of those drives. But it's just just a team effort at that particular time.
Facing Frank Reich, were there things that you didn't do that you thought he might diagnose? Were there things that you think he diagnosed today that sort of blew up for you? What was it like facing a guy that you'd been so close to the last couple of years, and how did it play out?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun getting a chance to visit with him before the game, and we were aware of a couple things that he might pick up on, whether it be by formation or personnel, and kind of vice versa with us, with their offense, and really, quite honestly, once you're into the heat of the battle, you're into the game. You're just focused on calling the next play and executing that next play, and trying to score. And I know he was the same way. But he's got a good football team. He's got a great quarterback. Obviously, they're going to win a ton of games, and it was fun to play against them.
Smallwood fell down the depth chart after the trade last year. What made you trust him today in that situation with two guys out?
Darren Sproles and Jay Ajayi weren't playing. No. I mean, listen. Wendell has always impressed me. I mean, he's worked extremely hard. He's really improved his craft and put himself in a position to help us. And he did it again in training camp this year and in the first part of this season. And you got to have guys like that. Might be role players, but you know what? Their role is pretty big in games like this when your two top guys are down in the backfield. And along the same lines, I thought Josh stepped in and made some nice runs too. So we continue, because they also play special teams. We continue to rotate guys and make sure they're fresh throughout the game.
Dallas Goedert had a big game. Was that because you saw matchups, because of necessity, considering the injuries that you're dealing with and the depth issues, or because he's earned it, because he's progressed to this degree?
I really think it's a little bit all that, what you just said. He's earned it, obviously. He's smart. He's talented. We see it in practice. And it's just time to play, and cut him loose a little bit and don't keep him back. And so it was part of the game plan again to do that with 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, but at the same time, as he gets more and more comfortable with the offense and find specific plays for him, he's just going to get better and better. And it's a combination really of all those comments.
Doug, you mentioned the committee at running back without Jay and Darren. What gives you the confidence? Other coaches might shorten their bench, so to speak, but you still went with the 3 guys, Wendell, Josh. What gives you the confidence in those guys?
I trust Deuce during the week to make sure that those guys are prepared. I trust the players that they're doing their jobs to make sure they understand the game plan. And really, I talk a lot about it takes all 53, and then of course it takes the 46 on game day. Whoever dresses is going to play, and these first 3 games, it's really come down to everybody's had to play, and this is the National Football League, and again, I'm not going to hold a player back just because he's a rookie or he doesn't have enough experience. It's our job as coaches to coach him up, and to get him ready and prepared. So the next time Josh is in this situation, each time gets a little better and better. So whether he's a rookie or a 12, 13-year vet, we got to make sure that they're all coached up the same.
Eric Barnett was involved in another big. I think it was Eric Barnett involved in another big, strip sack fumble thing. What has his progress been like since you guys drafted him, and where is he right now? That was one of the big plays of the game, I thought. Yeah,
I mean, great play. This kid just keeps getting better and better. Been pleased with how he works in practice. He's an unselfish ball player. I mean, he'll play special teams if you ask him. He'll rush the passer if you ask him. I mean, he does so many great things, and we're so excited to have a player like Derek and a young player like Derek who can play extensively and work in the rotation. Just seems like somewhere in the game, 96 is going to show up, and make a play, and he did that, several times today.
What was the message to both Carson and the locker room?
I just congratulated Carson just on the win. Nothing further than that, really. Just we found a way, make it work, and we won, and it's to be proud of. And for the team, it's a matter of we got to just learn from our mistakes. I really feel like good football teams find ways to win, and we've been able to do that in tight, close ball games. We've been able to figure it out and win, and that's a tribute to the guys in the locker room. And so that was kind of my thoughts after the game to them, and to enjoy it, and we're right back to work on Tuesday.
Okay.
Thanks guys.